You've probably heard the number before: 30, maybe 35. The average life expectancy of ancient humans, repeated so often it feels like fact. Picture it: a world where nobody grew old, where 30 meant elderly. But the real answer is far stranger than that number suggests. Start with the number itself: 30 years. Where did it actually come from? It came from averages, and averages lie in a very specific way. Anthropologist Rachel Caspari has spent much of her career studying this exact confusion, examining ancient skeletons and asking a deceptively simple question: how old were people when they died? Here's the trick hiding inside that average: ancient infant mortality was brutal, devastating. In many prehistoric populations, a huge percentage of children didn't survive their first few years. Disease, accidents, difficult births all took a staggering toll before age 5. Now do the math. If half a population dies before age 10 and the other half lives into their 60s or 70s, the average age at death still comes out low: 30, 35. A statistic that describes almost nobody's actual life. Pause on that for a second. An average isn't the same as a typical life. It's a number that can technically be true while describing an experience nobody actually had. So if you made it past childhood, what did your life actually look like? This is where the research gets genuinely surprising. Caspari's work, examining the ages of Neanderthal and early modern human fossils based on tooth wear and skeletal changes, found something striking. Early modern humans who survived early childhood show a real, meaningful presence of older adults in the fossil record. Individuals who lived well into what we'd now call their 50s, 60s, and occasionally beyond. That doesn't mean ancient elders were common. It means they existed reliably, generation after generation, not as flukes, but as an expected part of a functioning group. Anthropologists Michael Gervin and Hillard Kaplan pushed this question even further. Instead of only studying bones, they studied living hunter-gatherer and forager-horticulturalist populations directly, groups like the Hadza and the Tsimane, whose way of life still resembles, in important ways, how humans lived for most of history. Their findings reshaped how researchers think about human aging entirely. Once you strip away modern medicine, sanitation, and safety, and once someone survives the dangerous gauntlet of early childhood, human life expectancy doesn't collapse to 30. It climbs remarkably toward the 60s and 70s, essentially the same broad range you'd expect from a healthy adult today, minus the medical interventions that handle emergencies modern people take for granted. Think about what that means. The core biological lifespan of a human being, the actual ceiling your body is built to reach, hasn't changed nearly as much as people assume. What changed was survival to get there. Here's where the story becomes genuinely strange. Why would evolution favor humans living decades past their reproductive years at all? From a purely reproductive standpoint, a body that stops having children should, in theory, stop mattering to evolution. And yet grandparents, older adults well past their fertile years, show up again and again across human history and across still living traditional societies. This puzzle has a name. Researchers call it the grandmother hypothesis, and it offers a genuinely elegant explanation. An older woman who can no longer have children of her own can instead help feed, protect, and teach her grandchildren, dramatically improving their chances of survival. In several documented societies, researchers have found direct evidence that the presence of an active grandmother correlates with better nutrition and higher survival rates among grandchildren. In other words, longevity itself may have been selected for, not because older individuals reproduced more, but because they helped everyone else's children survive. Age in this light wasn't decline. It was infrastructure. So why does the caveman died at 30 myth persist so stubbornly? Partly because it's simple, dramatic, and fits a tidy narrative of constant progress, where modern life triumphantly rescued humanity from a brutal short existence. Partly because early archaeological methods for aging skeletons were genuinely limited, often underestimating the age of older individuals whose bones show wear patterns that are easy to misjudge without modern techniques. And partly, honestly, because a scary statistic travels faster than a nuanced one. Now think about your own life today for a moment. You live in a world engineered to eliminate exactly the threats that once killed most ancient humans before they had the chance to grow old. Vaccines, antibiotics, clean water, safe childbirth, emergency medicine, none of these made your maximum lifespan dramatically long.